Being the first ever 3D Spider-Man title comes with a certain set of expectations. After all, everybody wants their favorite superhero done justice. To meet these expectations, Spider-Man targets the maximum possible feeling of authenticity, which in this context means jamming in absolutely every possible ounce of everything related to the character. Starting with the title screen featuring some dynamic art with an amazing remix of the 60s animated series theme. The main menu is centered around Spider-Man's logo with details like controllers hanging on a web. Every new story chapter is accompanied by a comic book style cover made specifically for the game. And in the levels, we collect existing Spider-Man comic books that we can then view in a special gallery. Speaking of galleries, there is also a character gallery voiced by none other than Stan Lee himself, who also does narration for some levels.
Welcome, true believers and newcomers alike. Spider-Man co-creator Stan Lee here. Once again, we find our hero Peter Parker, better known around the world as the Amazing Spider-Man, in a heap of trouble.
And it's not the only Spider-Man related voice. The game features cast from the 1994 and Unlimited animated series. While Spider-Man was eventually ported to more powerful platforms, originally it was created for PlayStation 1, and the visual style takes advantage of that. In the starting cutscene, the villains release a mysterious fog all over New York, which not only serves as a way to contextualize the view distance technical limitations, but also as a basis for striking visuals. Skyscrapers piercing through a bright yellow fog makes every building in the 3D scene and 2D backdrop pop, alongside the visually decent characters whose textures take advantage of the CRT-TVs they'd be most likely viewed on. For example, Spider-Man in the PlayStation 1 version doesn't actually have any black webbing on his suit, but that's not that noticeable on period-appropriate screens. And when it comes to characters, it feels like the game followed the rule: if it's possible to cram someone in, they're going to be crammed. On the Allies side, we have Mary Jane, JJ, Black Cat, Daredevil, Human Torch, Punisher, Captain America, and the Rogue Gallery features Scorpion, Rhino, Venom, Lizard, Mysterio, Carnage, and Doc Ock. The game also seems to follow a rule: if it's not possible to cram someone in, they're going to be referenced, potentially in a secret area.
Gee, I wonder who those pumpkin bombs belong to.
One might ask, is it possible to have a compelling plot with so many, often not that related characters? Well, not really. The story is pretty paper thin, with Spider-Man getting framed for the purposes of achieving world domination, but it doesn't really matter. The game knows that with these parameters, it can't really focus on the dramatic side of Spider-Man ethos. So instead, it focuses full force on the other side, camp, which the game openly admits having.
Ah, the cliché seedy waterfront warehouse.
And there is so much camp.
Hey, will you guys keep it down?
Hey, loosen up, kids! I'm on fire!
And oh, is it glorious. The writing is just unabashedly charming, with this interpretation of Venom being the absolute standout.
We're going to use his computer database.
Ooh, are we gonna surf the web?
Let's just go, okay? Here it is, the records room.
Surf the web, surf the web.
Shut up, Brock, we don't have time.
A healthy dose of visual humor also never hurts. And should you complete the game, which, let's be honest, doesn't really take long, there's an array of extras like special trials, as well as unlockable costumes with unique abilities, that you can take into story mode without restrictions after getting them. And just to top it all off in terms of references and unlockables, there is a secret what if mode. Like any what if Marvel story, it starts with what to describe in potential divergences.
You already know the outcome of Spider-Man's battle with Dr. Octopus, Carnage, and the symbiotes. But what if? What if this time, in this time stream, some of the events unfolded differently?
They ranged from new or changed lines, Easter eggs, character references, and just some fun little moments. And last but not least, there's the actual gameplay abilities. Admittedly, the implementation can feel clunky due to lack of any camera control other than recentering. The camera system is dynamic and it repositions accordingly depending on whether we're on a ceiling or walls or need to have a very specific view of a particular challenge, but sometimes it's not enough since auto-aim doesn't always do what we want. But the actual verb library, the actions we can perform in the game, is fantastic and largely designed to take advantage of the platform limitations. For example, web swinging is automatic. We can break it off at any moment to try and choose a new direction, but Spider-Man will go only towards an area he can reach to avoid flying into nothingness. Spider-Man can jump on mooks to start punching them, has a variety of web moves and constructs like web gloves and web dome, he can web zip, crawl, there's even spider sense. The arrows pointing towards the locations of enemies are supposed to be an extension of spider sense as well, however they won't show where Venom is, since according to the source material, he avoids spider sense. And it's these kinds of details that really add texture to all the references, Easter eggs, campy writing, therefore making the difference between a game with lots of Spider-Man stuff in it and a Spider-Man game.